Welcome to SARE Nutritional Therapy. I'm your host, TL Matthew. I'm the founder of Some Foods, the maker of Some Sweet, and also a nutritional therapist. On this broadcast, we talk about health news and information as it applies to your everyday life. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Yes, that means like the video. And we want to hear from you. So comment if you have something that you want to share with us. And subscribe to all of our social medias. And now, on to the broadcast. All right there. Well, hello. How are we all doing today? Yes. So I am very glad to be here with you all today. My name is Teresa T.L. Matthew. I am the founder, as the opening said, of Some Foods, the maker of Some Sweet, also a nutritional therapist. The name of my practice was SARE, which stands for Sugar Addiction is Real, which is the same name for this broadcast here today. So, yes, I'm very glad to be here with you all. So, I was not just a little bit of housekeeping, just a little bit. Um, I was just working on the promo for or the announcement for the shows to come up next week because we got some very exciting guests coming next week. But I had to. I was over at my storage or warehouse. That's what we're going to call it, right? I was over there, and so I ran back here to try and get here to download it in time to get it here, to get it on the computer, and lo and behold, it just didn't. It didn't get downloaded in time, and you know how sometimes I have those technical difficulties. So if I can catch it and can upload it here, I'll try and run that through the broadcast today, so you can see the exciting guests that I have coming up here next week. Next week actually ends up being a bit of a jam-packed week because I accidentally, well, no, when I started scheduling guests, I I didn't have a calendar set, so I didn't just hadn't decided what day that I was going to actually have guests on, and so I managed to get guests on a little bit of every day next week. So, well, not every day, but 3 days next week. So we have three guests coming up next week, and I have purposely left. Left this week open because I wanted to have enough time to be able to create the promos for them. But anyway, enough about that. I want to share with you the tell you about, as I usually do, the sweetener that is sponsoring this today's broadcast, which is Some Sweet. And Some Sweet is the sweetener that I use to help me to kick my sugar addiction. I'm bringing it onto the screen here. I'll let it take over the screen so you all can take a look. If I'm stuck on the screen, that's because it's freezing. Not because that's what I'm actually trying to do. But but this is a sweetener that helped me kick my sugar addiction. So as you all know, that I am a recovering sugar addict, and I like to just let you know that this is what I used. This is what helped me, and hopefully that it can help others as well. And it has. All right, it looks like I got that uploaded here. So I'll share that with you all a little bit later about the promo. Okay, so on to today's topic. So coming back onto the screen here, trading out. This is a neat little thing here, but everything is manual. So I have to do all the changes and stuff myself. Did you all enjoy yesterday's guest? Oh, she's fantastic, right? A great story, and it was great for us to know um, how diabetes is a silent, right? It's silent. It our guest yesterday, Chef Wendy, she had several episodes and still had not been diagnosed with diabetes. This was all like in the pre-diabetes stages, and so this is Diabetes Awareness Month, and so I just want to continue on talking about that. It's important that you get yourself checked. Excuse me. Find out your risk. Find out if you're at risk. You can go to the American Diabetes Association. They have a quiz over there that you can take, and find out your risk, and go to the doctor and advocate for yourself. If you have a blood sugar spike at one time, if you have one time, then you need to be like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm checking my blood sugars regular, and having the doctor to check them, checking your A1C, all of that, and have them to tell you whether or not you're pre-diabetic. And if they say, oh, don't worry about it, if they start with that change your diet talk, as we heard Chef Wendy say, oh, just change your diet, or watch what you, no, you need to start doing some more, because somebody's not saying something, right? So advocate for yourselves. It's very important that you advocate for yourselves. So today's topic: children and sugar addiction. Are children addicted to sugar? Can they be addicted to sugar? I found some very interesting articles, and I'm going to bring them up here. I found some very interesting articles about children and sugar addiction, because I know a lot of times, we don't think of kids as being like sugar addicted, or here's the real bad thing that I know that we do, and it's like a joke about children and sugar. Like it used to be the joke: give them a lot of sugar, and then we know that they'll be bouncing off the walls, right? That's a given. We say that all the time. Oh yeah, and as I'm going into the subject, go ahead and drop your, drop me a chat, a comment in the chat box. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know where you're watching. Give me a thumbs up and let me know if you like this type of content, and anything that you want to talk about, or something that you're interested in, as far as regards to your health and your nutrition. And if it's something that I don't know, because I don't know everything, I will get somebody here to come and talk to us about that. All right. So, but we know that kids, when we give them sugar, they're like bouncing off the walls, and we joke about it, oh, we're gonna, it's like the joke, like a grandparent joke, which I'll be a grandma one day. But it's like the grandparent joke that give the kid all the sugar and then send them home to their parents, right? Or that's what we know that's going to happen, because we know that they're going to bounce off the walls, that they're not going to sleep very well, or that it's going to take a long time to get them calmed down. And sugar gets the kids hyped, and we know this. So I don't know why we do Halloween. I don't even know why they even have Halloween, honestly. Because as bad as sugar is, and or why they even let that turn into such a sugar type of occasion. But nonetheless, so we know that sugar is bad for the kids. So what do you do when the kid eats too much sugar, or your child? Because the kid is actually a baby goat. What do you do when your child eats too much sugar? What should we do? Oh yeah, and by the way, if you hear the little guy, he's in there, and I mean not a child, but my little puppy. Oh, he's not a puppy, he's an old man. He's a little old dog now. If you hear him, he's gonna bark every now and then, because if he hears some noise, he's gonna bark, because that's what he does. So, what do you do when your child eats too much sugar? So I'm gonna give you 5 tips on ways to cut down on the added sugar, because that's what we have to watch for. Do you know that you go into the store, like as a mom, you're trying to be healthy, health conscious. You think you're going to get your kid really your child really something good, and so you get them applesauce, right? So get them applesauce, the little applesauce cups that they can put into their lunch, or just that they can have as a snack. And then that applesauce cup, did you know that it has tons of added sugar? And then you want to get the special ones, like the fruit flavored ones, the ones with strawberries or blueberries or whatever, just some kind of berry that's added in there. It's got tons of added sugar. Or you go up there, you get your yogurt cups and your Go-Gurts, and we're trying to be healthy, and that's full of sugar. Right? So it seems like just about everything that you could go and pick up in the store basically has some added sugar to it. And so when you're trying to give your children something healthy, I mean, you just need to just stick with nature's candy. Give them a piece of fruit. You can cut up fruit. Did you know that the store-bought peanut butter, when you just get peanut butter in the store, it actually has sugar in it as well. So there's added sugar in peanut butter. So you want to make sure that you're getting the all natural peanut butter with no added sugar. So you want to always look for things like that. But if you want to give your child something that's great and something that's sweet, apple with peanut butter, unsweetened peanut butter, it may not be. It can some of them don't. Honestly, they don't taste as well. It's an acquired taste, so you would have to get the acquired taste for it. But if you're mixing that peanut butter with something like an apple slice, so you do that peanut butter, unsweetened peanut butter with an apple slice and a raisin or two on there. I mean, that's plenty sweet, right? So that's plenty sweet. So what we're gonna do is, but we're gonna talk about 5 ways to cut down on added sugar. So because we know that when they get you give them some added sugar, they're going to be off the chain, right? So there are many long-term studies linked to sugar, to the risk of sugar and how bad it is for your health. So there's lots of those. We know that it can cause diabetes, and that it can cause obesity. And so that's why the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that children under 2 years of age don't consume any added sugar at all. Whoa. Now I know that I've seen lots of little under twos walking around with with some candy. Not with like you give them the little, or you want to hold the lollipop and they lick on it. You don't let them have it, but you hold it for them and you let them lick on it. You know, I've seen the little 2-year-olds, the under twos with candy. And kids 2 and older should not have more than 25 grams, and that includes the adults as well, of sugar. That's about 6 teaspoons of added sugar daily. So 6 teaspoons of added sugar daily is the max for a child that's 2 years old and older, right? So how bad is sugar for your child? So if the amount of sugar, the amount of added sugar kids consistently ingest leads to big blood sugar spikes, and over time, that's going to result in the risk of insulin resistance. Remember, that's why I said that's what I was, like, insulin resistant. And most people who are pre-diabetic, diabetic, and things like that, they are insulin resistant. So insulin resistance is the start. So you have insulin resistance, and then pre-diabetes, and then type 2 diabetes. And now there are different forms of diabetes, which I'm going to have to do a show about that. I keep saying that. I'm going to have to do a show about that. But there are different, well, there is a third. There are two more types of, I believe it's two more types of diabetes that we'll go into, and we'll break each one of them down and how they affect you and your body. But and keep in mind that all sugars are not equal. So again, like I said, nature's candy Don't be afraid of fruits and whole grains and all that, beans, dairy products, and all that. Even though they have sugar, that's natural sugar, and that natural sugar comes with fiber, which I've told us that that's okay for us to have because the fiber actually slows down the digestion of the sugar. But how can you reduce the sugar that your child is eating? Well, you want to know how to spot the hidden sugars. That's the first thing, is to know how to spot them, know their names. Now I have a book, Spilling the Tea on Sugar, and you can get a copy of that book. It is available on the website. There is a cost, but you can get that on the website. But I list 64 names of sugar, right? So the 64 names that I could find of sugar. And I mean, there are a few more, but not all sugars are created equally. So, and even still, when you have some of the sugars there, the different, um, how the body uptakes those sugars are different. And so that I did leave a few of those ones that were better for you off the list, because I was just going with the list of those that we know have a high glycemic index, a high glycemic load, and that affect your body and causes insulin spikes. But the most commonly used sugars that you'll find on your labels and packaging are dextrose. Dextrose. Now, dextrose, I found some dextrose like when I was looking at I was in the store and I was looking at what was it? It was stevia and some other sweetener blends. I found dextrose mixed into the individual packets and even some of the bigger bags. Now, if you find stevia on the grocery store shelves and you see that it's a big bag of stevia, look on the back. Stevia has to have a carrier, right? It has to be blended with, especially if it's in a big pack like that. It's such an intense sweetener that it has to have a bulking agent, and a carrier. So if you see something that just says it's just plain stevia, then that's it. The carrier is more than like dextrose, and dextrose is fairly high on the glycemic index, along with sucrose, which is table sugar, right? So sucrose is table sugar. Honey, agave, or molasses. These are all words for sugar. They come from different places, like honey. The bees make honey. Agave comes from a cactus plant. Molasses comes from the sugar cane. But these are all words for sugar. And the so how do you cut back on sugar? How do you turn the tide and help your child with their sweet tooth? One of the things, just do what I did. Uh, no, put sugar sweetened beverages on your no list. No, no, no. I don't buy. Um, I when my children were young. Well, when my son was young, I got WIC, and they would give you like all these juices. So, but what I would do with the juice is, when I got the juice, he never got juice full strength. It was half. I always watered it down. So he got half juice, half water, or a quarter juice, three quarters water. It was always watered down. I never gave it to him full strength, because apple juice, if you drink apple juice, is straight syrup. I mean, it is so super, super, super sweet. So I never gave that to him full strength. And when he was young, I stopped drinking soda. So we never had any sodas in the house at all. And so my daughter, by the time she came along, we never had any sodas in the house, because I wasn't drinking soda. So I didn't buy soda. I didn't want it in the house. So I haven't had soda let's see, my son is 20, he's 25. So I haven't had soda in about 23 years. Yeah, about 23 years. So I haven't had soda. So I don't buy soda at all. So that was one of the things that I gave up early on in trying to battle the bulge and help myself to lose weight, was soda. So I quit drinking soda. I lost like 4 or 5 pounds. I was like, oh, it's not coming back. So I gave up soda. It was easy, but I still was eating bread and butter and cakes and other treats and Slurpees, which I did turn my kids on to. But when I quit with the Slurpees, I stopped with my kids with the Slurpees as well. But anyway, so but don't bring sweetened beverages, and that's juice, any of those high, I won't name them, but the fruit punches and all that, don't bring them into your home. And also try to avoid the lemonade, because now they make lemonade in the thing, that lemonade as well is very very sweet. And again, sodas, sports drinks, Gatorades, because we think sports drinks, I don't want to say their names, but sports drinks, because we think that they're good and they're hydrating, but they're very very sweet. And then as your children age and get older, things like sweet teas, the extremely sweet tea, what is it, the like, well, it's just sweet tea, right? um and even they sell the teas, the green teas and all those teas, all the different teas. um they're sweet and they have a lot of sugar in them, so you don't want to get that. And the coffee drinks, your favorite places where you go and get your lattes, and you turn your children on to the lattes, and you say, hey, and now they're drinking lattes and they want them too, and you can get it in the bottle at the store and all of that. It's full of sugar. So you want to make sure that you don't bring those things into your house. But yes, your children can get addicted to sugar, and this is exactly how they get addicted to sugar. And it's through just these simple things, like you're trying to give them juice, you're trying to be healthy, give them juice, um, give them healthy things like applesauce, yogurt, and all that, and they're getting addicted to sugar because there's added sugar in there. Number two, get food label literate. Yes, you must be food label literate. New food labels are currently being rolled out, and the food labels have the line with the sugar amounts in them. So it will say what's actually the amount of sugar that's in stuff. So and like when I make labels for my products, then we have to, I have to list it. Ask how much sugar, and if there's any added sugar. So you'll see added sugar on your label. So, for instance, a jar of applesauce might say it has a total of 24 sugar. It'll say 24 grams, but then it'll say includes 10 grams of added sugars. See? And so you want to get the one that would say 0 grams of added sugar. And so the added sugar line can help you make that smarter choice for you and for your children. And so you want to make sure. So you want to read the labels. The third thing you can do is choose foods with less than 10 grams of sugar and more than 5 grams of fiber. So again, on the back of the nutrition label, it is going to tell you how much fiber is in something. It's going to tell you how much sugar is in something and how much added sugar. So you want to make sure that you get something with less than 10 grams of sugar and more than 5 grams of fiber. So we're trying to be healthy. We're trying to give our kids something wonderful, and then we give them a granola bar. What? Granola bars are minefields for sugar. Oh, that's like candy. I mean, they good. It's oatmeal, right? Or popped rice, right? Puffed rice and sugar. And the chocolate chip ones? Oh my goodness, that stuff is like candy. So you want to make sure that you are looking for those granola bars that, because they will have the fiber, which is really good, but you want to make sure that it has less than 10 grams of sugar and more than 5 grams of fiber. Because fiber is very beneficial in many ways. It helps with satiety, which, making us full. Then it decreases cholesterol and lowers the risk for diabetes and prediabetes. So, a lot of products that have natural sugars, such as fruit and veggies, remember, they have a very high fiber content. That's why I say you can eat those things as much as you like. So, and number four, make your own healthy snacks for your children. Remember, I was saying the example of the peanut butter with the apple and some raisins. That's a healthy snack. So you want to make your own healthy snacks for your children. Um, A lot of times processed foods just have a lot of sugar in it. We can't say anything else. There's nothing else to say. It's just got a lot of sugar in it. So the more food that you can prepare at home, the better. Bake mini muffins rather than getting them from the store. And that makes a huge difference because you know those little mini muffins that you can get. I won't say the brands, but you all know what they are. Those little mini chocolate chip muffins, little mini blueberry muffins. Make them yourself, and then you can control how much sugar goes into them. And if you make them, you can quite possibly freeze them. I'm not like a really I'm not like a baker like that, but there are ways that you can freeze your things and and they'll keep, and then you can just bring them out and heat them up. Um, if you use a microwave, you can put them in that. I don't use microwaves, but what I do use is a steamer, and it's like a double boiler set with the top boiler has holes in the bottom. I use parchment paper, wrap whatever is I'm going to heat up in that, and then put it in there, put the top on, and then oh, it's wonderful. So I use a steamer. I don't use a microwave. I either use a steamer or the oven. So, but anyway, that's me. But if you use a microwave, then that's your choice, and you can just heat that up in the microwave. You can also make the granola bars. You can make them homemade. I mean, it's just you can use dates. Sweeten with dates. That avoids added sugar, and dates are very 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 sweet, but they're full of fiber. They have a lot of fiber. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm not talking here and being muted. Because sometimes, okay, yeah, we're good. Because sometimes, I'll talk and I'm still muted. So, but yeah, anyways, you can make your own granola bars. You can make a candy bar with dates. So, I believe the way it is, you got to take the pit out the dates. The first time I ever had dates, um, we got the dates, and I didn't know that they had a seed in them. I didn't know they had a pit in them. And I was making something, and we ground them up, and it was just like, and I was like, dang, like these things are really hard, and we ground them up, and it was full of the pit. We had ground up the pit with what we were making. Uh, it was a mess. But they were so good. They were so good. We got a lot of fiber out of that, but let me tell you, but it was really good. But yeah, so you want to take the pit out of your date, and then you want to you can mash it up, grind it up, or whatever, and you can mix it with you can use it like caramel. Then put some chocolate on the top of it. Put some peanuts on the top of it. You can put actually make that paste. Put it in the middle of some chocolate. Put some peanuts on top, and put your chocolate. Finish with the chocolate on the top, and you would be using unsweetened chocolate or very low sugar chocolate with that, and then that's a natural candy bar. Now, of course, if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, this you cannot do these things. But we're actually talking about healthy snacks that you can make for your children, and hopefully that your children are not in that case of being diabetic or pre-diabetic at this point. But that is a way to give them a healthy treat. You can use dates to sweeten whatever it is that you want to. If you're making the granola bars, you can use the dates to sweeten that. If you're if you make your own yogurt, or if you get plain yogurt at the store, you get unsweetened yogurt, you can sweeten that with dates. And I do know that there is a company that makes like date syrup or something like that. So I mean, there's different ways that you can, but then again, that date syrup is going to be minus the fiber because it's just the sugar extract. So it's just like any other syrup. So you would want to get the whole fruit and then use the whole fruit in what it is that you're making, because you'll get the fiber with that. Okay, so forget I said anything about the date syrup. But anyway, but you can make your homemade granola bars that are sweetened with dates so that you can avoid the added sugar. And then that's unprocessed. You can use dried fruit. Or fresh fruit. Fresh fruit. If you have a dehydrator, you can dry it, or you can just, if you can buy dried fruits, you want to make sure that when you buy dried fruit that you look on the back of the package, because they add sugar to it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're reading the package. You want to make sure that there's no added sugars with your fruit. And you want to choose something like that over fruit snacks. Or you can also make your own fruit snacks because, I mean, really, um, or with the fruit roll ups, like if you have a dehydrator, applesauce, pulverize it or pulverize berries and all of that, get it to like a thick paste or a paste consistency, spread it on your seal pat in your and put it in your dehydrator and let it dry and you can cut it and roll it up and now you got a fruit roll up. All right, so it's natural, made no added sugar or anything added to that. So that's one of the things you can do. And then number five, the fifth thing you can do is to train your child's taste buds. The reason why you want to train your child's taste bud, because all of the added sugars out there on the market, all the food out there with the added sugars on the market are training your child's taste buds. What is training your child's taste bud to is to get used to that heavy sweetness that comes from the high fructose corn syrup or that comes from the highly sweetened foods that they're consuming. And so what you want to do is you want to train their taste buds, which means you have to wean them back off of it by starting to give them less and less sweet foods. And so, I mean, the best thing is not to introduce sugar at all from the very beginning. You don't want to do that. You want them not to crave the sweet stuff. Breast milk by nature is sweet, right? So we're kind of geared toward wanting sweet stuff, but you don't want to introduce any added sugars from the start. Don't give them any candy. Don't give them sugar water. Do not give your baby sugar water, okay? To get them to drink water, don't do that. If don't just don't. Just don't introduce sugar from the start and then they won't get a palate for that for sweet stuff. So that's one of the things that we want to do. But is to try and keep them off of sugar. So, what about you've already introduced them to sugar, or somebody did introduce your child to sugar? So, you want to reverse an already established habit. So, what would you do? Like I said, you wean them off of sugar gradually. And so, you can't go cold turkey. Me as an adult with a sugar addiction could not go cold turkey. Do not do that to your child. Wean them off. Wean them off slowly. Um, Sweetened applesauce and sugary yogurts, the go, well, I'm not going to say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. The tube yogurts, right? You want to start to give them unsweetened applesauce with some cinnamon in it. That gives a little spice with, a little flavor added. Hopefully your child will like it, you know. But like I said, the peanut butter with the apple slice and the raisins, because raisins are really, really sweet, naturally sweet, right? You can give them, instead of that, the sugary yogurts, you can give them plain yogurt, plain or low sugar yogurt, and berries. And remember, I said you could also use a date. You want to take the pit out, grind up the date, make a paste, and then you can stir that in. That'll give a sweet taste. And then you can still add berries and fruit and things to sweeten it up. And then you can lessen the amount of the date sugar that you put in there. And then just let the fruit take it over, instead of the sugary drinks every day. If you're already giving them sugary drinks, you want to give them fruit and water for sweetness, so they get just a hint of the sweetness, right? So you want to do something like that, or you want to gradually wean them off of the sugar, less and less and less of the sugar until you get them completely off. You're trying to help them to come off of that. Naturally flavored sparkling waters. That's what I would give. That's what I gave my daughter. My kids actually really like those sparkling waters. I would get them the sparkling waters because they thought, if first of all, they were sparkly, so they thought they were soda. It was kind of like, oh, it's soda. So they were sparkly, and then they were not sweetened with sugar at the time when I was giving it to them. They were sweetened with sucralose. So I don't want to use brand names here, okay? So they were sweetened with sucralose, but I didn't. I didn't really know the impact of how that could not be the best thing for them, but I was trying not to give them sugar. And they really liked those, so I let them have that. It was sweet without actually giving them uh, without actually having the impact on their blood sugar. So that's some things that you could do if your children are already addicted to sugar. Now, can they be addicted? Yes. Yes, they can be addicted to sugar already. And you want to help them to kick their sugar habit before it gets beyond your control. Because see, the thing is while they're little, while they're young, and you're buying the groceries and you're preparing the meals, you can control what they eat. When they get bigger, like teenagers, like my daughter, like teenagers, because I have teenagers, when they get bigger, like you can't control what they eat. They can go out, they have their own money, they can, you know, because you gave it to them, but they can go shop for themselves, or they can go and get their own sweet treats and things like that. And but you want to make sure that you've already helped to set their taste buds before that. So you want to. So again, cut the culprits, the sodas, the energy drinks, sport drinks. You know that will make up 32% of an average child's sugar intake. And then they'll have desserts, and desserts are about 18%, and fruit drinks are 15%, candies at 70%, and I didn't even mention this. Ready to eat cereal is at 6%. Those cereals are so full of sugar. You have to find a way to get them off of those things. And I know those cereals make breakfast so easy to prepare in the morning, but we really need to come up with something different in order to help your children not to be addicted to the sugar, right? So watch for the hidden culprits. Kids love the chicken nuggets, right? You go out to a fast food restaurant, you go out, the kids always want chicken nuggets, right? And then what do they get with the side? Now, I don't know if they get barbecue sauce or if they like the honey mustard. I don't know which one they like, but both of them are laden with sugar, right? Be careful, be careful, be careful. Someone's going to tell you some other things where you can find sugar at and where you should read the labels. So we already mentioned the yogurts, the energy bars. Ketchup is full of sugar. We know how kids love their ketchup. Sauces like spaghetti and barbecue sauce, salad dressings, breads, crackers, peanut butter. Remember I said peanut butter has added sugar in it. Infant formula. Infant formula does have some added sugar because breast milk is naturally sweet, so they do put sugar in there. So you really want to monitor the amount of sugar in the infant formula. And drinks, all those different drinks. So you just want to retrain their taste buds. And if you do that, you should be able to help your child come off the sugar. And you can do that without giving them a really bad shock to the system, by making them go cold turkey. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can also use some sweet to help your child to come off of sugar. If you're looking for something to replace sugars with, you can try some sweet. I would recommend it. I used it for my child, to help her to replace. And remember, I said because I would get ice cream treats. I think I told you guys this. I would get ice cream treats for certain special occasions. When my children would request, that's what they wanted, and I noticed that she was sneaking them. And so I ended up doing was stop bringing that kind of stuff in the house. Now we don't have anything sweet in our house at all, and she uses the some sweet faster than I do. She uses it faster than I do. She which I'm really glad about, because that means that she cannot really tell the difference. So I'm glad that you guys joined me today. I just want to share with you what's coming up on the in the next for next week. And if you like this kind of content, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and like the video, and follow me on my social medias. That is Sair or Sairnt, Sairnt. That's Facebook, on Facebook. It's Some Sweet Foods on Instagram, some Sweet Foods on Twitter, and SAIRNT on YouTube as well. So go over to the YouTube channel for me and do me a favor and subscribe over there so that I can get that channel growing over there on YouTube. But I just want to share this with you about our guests that are coming next week. So if you just bear with.
Coming up on the Sarah Nutritional Therapy live stream on Tuesday, November 16th, TL has a conversation with certified life coach and author Denise Wester. And on Wednesday, November 17th, we have a conversation with clinical psychologist, registered dietitian, and fitness expert Dr. Supatra Tovar. And on Thursday, November 18th, we talk with minister and certified health coach Becky Whitehead. Catch the live stream on HAPS, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, and the podcast on all your favorite podcast channels.
All right, I just wanted to put that out there. I didn't want to read it because I worked very hard on that. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know that that's what's going on. That's what I'm using that in some other platforms. So I was able to get that up over here. So, but you know, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in today, for sharing this time with me, spending this time with me. And if you like this content, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channels. And, I hope that this helped you and will help you to keep your children or your child or your kid, your child, from being addicted to sugar. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me today. And until next time. Well, that's it for today's broadcast. Want to thank you all for tuning in. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you like this type of content. Also, comment and subscribe to all of our social medias. Peace and blessings.